Hey everyone. The Cardano DeFi space is, well, it's basically in a flat-out race right now, and this week the pace just went into overdrive. We're going to break down the latest moves from three huge players, Strike, Surf, and Fluid, and see who's really pulling ahead. So yeah, let's just dive right in.
So, you might be thinking, what can a few weekly updates really tell us? It seems kind of small in the grand scheme of things, right? But here's the thing. If you look closely, these little check-ins, they tell a much, much bigger story. It's a story about some pretty intense competition, really rapid innovation, and a battle for your attention and, of course, your capital. Let's see what they're showing us.
All right, first up, let's get to know the protocols we're going to be tracking today. Each one is trying to do its own thing, find its own corner of the market, but as we're about to see, their paths are starting to cross in some, let's just say, very interesting ways. Okay, so here's our lineup. First, you've got Strike. Think of them as the high-speed traders of the group, specializing in derivatives, or what everyone calls perps. It's basically like betting on where an asset's price is going to go. Then, in the other lane, you've got the lenders, Surf and Fluid. And these two are in a direct head-to-head battle for all the borrowing and lending action. Just keep these roles in mind, because it's the key to understanding everything that comes next.
So the first big theme we're seeing right across the board is just expansion. I mean, it makes sense. If you want to attract users, you've got to give them things to do, right? And that all starts with adding more and more assets to the playground.
And you can see this happening in real time. You've got Strike, who's going after the risk takers by adding new assets you can trade with high leverage. Then there's Surf, who's targeting the long-term holders by opening up new yield farming pools where you can just earn passive income. And Fluid, well, they're playing the mystery card, building up hype for what's coming. So you see, three different protocols, all with very different strategies to get you on their platform.
Surf is taking a particularly clever approach here. Instead of just deciding on their own what to add, they're turning it over to their community. And letting users vote on the next assets isn't just some nice gesture about decentralization, it's actually a brilliant engagement tactic. It basically guarantees that whatever they list next already has a built-in fan base ready to go. Super smart.
Of course, all these new assets and all this new activity, it's all designed to do one thing: bring in the money, attract capital. So let's switch gears and look at the numbers. Let's see how these protocols are actually measuring up in this big race for liquidity. But before we jump into the numbers, just a quick primer. You're going to hear the term TVL a lot, which stands for Total Value Locked. The absolute easiest way to think about it is this. It's like the total amount of deposits a bank is holding. It's one of the most important health metrics for any DeFi protocol, period. And speaking of TVL, get a load of this. Surf just blew past 13 million ADA locked on their platform. Now, in the DeFi world, that is way more than just a number. That is a massive vote of confidence from the community. It means users trust the protocol enough to park some serious capital there, which gives Surf the deep liquidity it really needs to compete. Now, let's hop over to Strike. The metric here is a bit different, but it's just as crucial. For a trading platform, it's all about how deep the liquidity is. With over $1 million ready for trading in just their main ADA pair alone, they're showing some serious strength. For a trader, this is huge. It means you can execute really large orders without completely tanking the price. It's a sign of a mature, healthy market. Okay, now for Fluid. Now, I know, 1,500 ADA might not sound like much compared to the millions we just saw, but here's the key context. The platform generated that in fees in less than 4 days of being live. This isn't about potential or what-ifs. This is immediate proof that people want what they built. They showed up and started using it from day one. That's impressive. And let's circle back to Strike for one final, really important number. They've paid out almost 650,000 ADA in rewards to users who staked with them. This isn't about some one-time hype event. It's about a long-term commitment. It proves they have a model that's sustainable and that consistently gives value back to the people who provide the liquidity that makes the whole thing run. All right, so the numbers look good, but it's not just about the numbers, is it? To keep people around, to keep them engaged, you have to be constantly improving the platform itself. Making it more powerful and just plain easier to use. So what we're seeing is innovation happening on two different fronts. Over on the left, you've got the stuff you can actually see and touch, the user-facing improvements. Things like Surf's upcoming one-click leverage feature or Fluid's new tutorials. Then on the right, you have the really critical backend work. Strike integrating a new V2 backend might not sound flashy, but it's like upgrading the entire engine of a race car. It's absolutely essential for performance and any kind of future growth.
And this, right here, is a perfect example of what that looks like in the real world.
As Surf is rolling out their new V2 staking system, they're giving users a very specific, very practical tip. It's a small detail, sure, but this is the exact kind of clear communication that builds trust and makes sure that users can actually use the new features without running into any problems.
This is where the features start to get really, really clever, creating some awesome benefits for users. So with Fluid, your collateralized ADA continues to earn you staking rewards. I mean, your loan could literally start to pay for itself. Over at Strike, they're proving their model works because all of their liquidity pools are currently in profit. And this is a killer move, Fluid is about to offer staking rewards paid out in Bitcoin. That is a huge draw for anyone looking to diversify their earnings.
So, after all that, what's next? You can probably guess. The pace is not slowing down one bit. Let's take a look at the immediate roadmap and see what these teams have planned for just the next couple of days and weeks. And here it is, laid out for us. This week, Strike kicks off that massive backend upgrade. Also this week, Fluid is launching its Bitcoin rewards, adding new listings, and putting out user tutorials. And then, within the next 2 weeks, Surf expects to start public testing for its highly anticipated one-click leverage feature. I mean, wow, the whole ecosystem is just moving incredibly fast.
Which brings us to our final thought for today. As you watch all of this unfold, what do you think matters more in the end? Is it that steady foundational progress, like the backend work Strike is doing? Or is it a single game-changing feature, like Surf's one-click leverage, that could just swoop in and capture the whole market? It's a fascinating race to watch, for sure, and it's one that's going to shape the future of DeFi on Cardano. Thanks for tuning in.